Hi, I'm Lois Beres at KZGN, and this is Ridgecrest Talk. And today we're talking with a couple of nearly native Ridgecrestians. We've got a businesswoman who is Gloria Longo and a retired engineer physicist, Ed Middlemiss. I got it. This was not easy for me. Sorry. They are volunteers with IWV HD TV boosters, and it's a way that you can hear us also in addition to the cable network. Thank you for coming, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation.
How long have you been around? How long has boosters been around?
Well, the earliest photographs that we got out of the archives and the photo branch on base were something dated 1954 when they were constructing a generator building and a transmitter building up on Laurel Mountain.
And Laurel Mountain is that one that we can
Laurel
see
Mountain is
from
where
here?
the white radar dome is when you're heading south on 395.
Are you
south
still
on the
there?
right.
Still there.
Oh, the white radar dome?
No, yeah, that plus you guys.
Still
and
there.
the rest are still there?
We were the first tenants on the mountain.
Okay.
The radar guys, the FAA and the Air Force and the Navy collaborated to put that in because they wanted to keep track of where all the flying things were in the air.
Well, that makes good sense, doesn't it? Yeah. And so, did you then volunteer like right away when you got here, or?
No, I got dragged in, the late 70s. I arrived in the early 70s. Jim Rieger and the others were creating some television advertisements, and I got dragged in to help provide some kitty cats for him well, he was wearing a cat costume.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where's this cat coming from.
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. And then, did you have any TV at all in the valley here? Or?
Well, there have been reliable TV signals since that 1954 or 1955 time frame. That's when the B Mountain TV relays or repeaters started operation. There was some earlier equipment up on Laurel Mountain. I guess I do remember seeing one other photograph that was a little travel trailer that got blown off the mountaintop. It was holding some of their early equipment, but this is the aftermath that the photo was from.
So, what is then the history of IWV boosters? Where did you start?
Well, it was in 1950, China Lake Community Council was incorporated as a nonprofit for the purpose of improving the quality of life for base residents.
And I think a lot of that had to
And the
do
TV Booster
with
Committee was established under them.
Okay.
a lot of that had to do with the fact that many women were dragged up into the valley because this is where the jobs were, and we are remote, and there wasn't a great deal here, so television was a big drawing factor.
I would think it would be, because I know now a lot of people even depend on it, and we've got a whole lot more now
Yes.
than we did in, what was it, 50-something?
Yes.
Well, there were enthusiasts building, I understand, 75-foot tall masts to put a VHF antenna up to try to pull the signals directly from Los Angeles, and they had a hard time seeing faces and counting fingers. So they formed a committee under the community council to do something about that, and they went around to the mountaintops to see if they could pick up a good signal, and right away they discovered that Laurel Mountain's summit had some very good quality signals. And so they said, well, we need to do something about that, and they first tried on-channel signal boosters. But the 15 miles from Laurel Mountain to the base was too far for that kind of operation, because the signal you're pushing out is getting into the antennas you're trying to pick up LA signals with, and they were so weak that this was like antenna squeal in an auditorium.
Not a
Antenna
fun
squeal.
thing.
Audio
Loudspeaker squeal.
Okay, see, all this technical stuff, I wouldn't have noticed that, so
Sorry.
you should have just let it go. But anyway, then, is that when you guys got together and decided to have a group of volunteers, or?
That was the community council was an independent corporation, but the base command utilized them to, get the pulse of the residents and stuff
So
like
you had
that.
some assistance from the base then?
Well, the base utilized non-appropriated funds, basically recreation funds, to pay people to change tubes on the equipment.
It seems like that would be important to have some recreation here for these families.
Well,
yeah.
the base had a great deal of retention problems, recruiting and keeping the technical staff it needed. So it tried a bunch of different things, and that's why we have such a large, even now still, such a large group of clubs that were established in the early 50s, late 40s, early 50s, Concert Association, TV Booster Committee, Boy Scout troops, all kinds of things.
Gotcha.
And the idea was to have a contented population, which, the work brought the guys. If it wasn't enough, they wouldn't
take care of the
stay
wife and the
anyway.
kids and whatever,
But the
too.
wife and kids, the families, were the problems that they were trying to
The
address.
theater was built sometime around that time, I think, on base. I'm not
Correct.
sure.
Yes.
But it was still working when I got here. And I haven't been here all that long.
Oh, it's still working. It's
It's
just.
just condemned. The
Oh, is it
building.
now?
Yes.
Okay. So they're no longer having all hands meetings.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
So your history then would be that you started this about what year?
Well, there are people who probably know more about it.
Your group.
But the evidence shows that the TV booster was operating, retransmitting operation from B Mountain around the middle 1950s. And that was to replace the on-channel boosters I was referring to that just didn't work out.
Okay.
And so they would pick up signals on Laurel Mountain, stuff them together on a microwave link that was built with converted military hardware.
Probably.
And the Cumshaw tradition. And
you got to help them
they
out.
hauled these 7 channels from Los Angeles over to B Mountain, and then they were converted back over to the familiar VHF channels used in Los Angeles, so that the newspaper program listings made sense.
2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11.
And 13.
And
Seems
13.
Like remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to go into this a little bit more and see a little bit about what you guys did with it and what we do with these signals now and how you can see KZGN on it. But we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back in about probably 2 minutes.
Okay.
No twiddling.
Okay, we're back with Lois and Gloria and Ed, and we're talking about the IWV TV boosters. And we talked a little bit about their history. We may go into a little bit more in a little bit, but I want to know about some of the things that they will actually project out to you. You call that signals, I guess.
Signal.
Okay, so
That's
tell me
correct.
about signals with boosters.
Signals. Well, first of all, TV Booster is a translator association. We don't originate any programming at all. Our job is to take what's available, such as what Tom gives us on KZGN, and other program material that we're able to access and acquire from Laurel Mountain. So we are a TV translator association. We have so much signal. We have 33
My count is 33.
33 channels. Ponder that, from a group of volunteers. Generally speaking, it's usually about 7 highly qualified gentlemen who know what they're doing, and 2 girls, Jean Schneider and myself, who show up as often as we can and always in the booth because we don't mind asking for donations.
Okay.
So there we are. So here are some of the channels that we bring to you from Los Angeles and other places. Of course, we have the networks. We have KCBS. We have KNBC, we have KTLA, we have KABC. But did you know that TV Booster has an awful lot of PBS broadcasting? And this is what I really love to watch. We have a national PBS channel, which is directly from the East Coast. We also have KLCS, which is the Los Angeles County School System, and that is also a PBS affiliate, real true PBS. And there are 4 channels on that KLCS, so there's lots to watch, including the Create channel, which has a lot of cooking shows. I watch those. We also have KCET, which is not a PBS station any longer, but is a small p public station. It is viewer supported, and it has a lot of the programming that it used to have, but not all of it, since it is not a PBS any longer. Other programming we offer, because we try to give a broad range of programming choices, is KMEX, which is Univision. We also have
Spanish language, right?
Okay. We also broadcast the City Channel. The City Channel has information on it, background music, and will broadcast Planning Commission as well as City Council meetings.
And school board meetings.
And school board meetings. That's correct. Thank you, Ed, for that correction. The only channel that we have, which is a onesie, is KCAL. They broadcast only a single channel. We broadcast only a single channel. We can only broadcast what's there since we don't originate. But most of the channels that I have talked about here have at least 2, 3, and some of them have 4 channels. So if you're watching TV Booster and you can't find something to watch, you should probably go read a book.
Because there's a lot of channels out there, people.
There's a lot of channels out there.
And tell me how you get this. Now, I know we've got a huge dish out there, and that sends the signal up to you. What about the others on there? Technically, I don't want you to get too involved because I wouldn't understand it. But how do you pick up those other stations?
You will need, for the most part, an outdoor antenna.
Okay.
This has almost always been the case.
You mean the TV booster or the
No,
TV booster's users?
Oh, how do
Us,
we?
individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will need
Yeah.
an outdoor antenna.
I'm sorry,
Now,
I was meaning us.
There are some cases where set-top antennas will work comme ci, comme ça, but for the most part, an outdoor antenna, a short lead of wire. Now, we don't need to be 20 feet up in the
You
air
don't have to be on the roof or whatever.
it can be attached to the eave, depending upon your location. Years ago, antennas had to be way up in the air, which meant when the wind blew, depending upon
Your
how
signal
you
blew along them.
Yeah. So now we're talking all digital signal, so it's either there or it's not. A modest size antenna outside, pointed at Laurel Mountain, which is where the signal's coming from.
Laurel Mountains, south of us. Did
With
you
the
say
big
15
white
miles?
radar dome.
That white radar about 15 miles south of
Right.
Ridgecrest.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
South of the base entrance.
A short
Oh, there you
run
go.
of
Yeah.
wire as comfortably long as you can manage running into your television. If you have multiple televisions, you may need a distribution amplifier. If you have an older television, you may need a converter box.
Not many of those left anymore.
Not many.
And the
Not
price of the converter box is maybe 33 to 25% the price of a new TV.
Yeah,
So
it's
Well,
a
so
down.
you might
not
get
a
a flat
rec-
screen HD TV and you'd probably be better
Yeah,
off.
or even a 21, 23, 25. Virtually everything that's on the marketplace now is digital capable. It was built that way.
It is required to have a digital tuner if it has any tuners at all.
We went
Right.
through that a few years back where they said everybody had to change over to digital.
Well, it meant if it was sold in the United States, it
was
had to
digital.
have the tuners, both style tuners, if it had any. Now you can sell a computer monitor. It's called a monitor if it has no tuners, and they also were calling them HD ready, which
Okay.
meant that they had the wide screen.
Okay, just for my own information, 2-story house. Got one upstairs and one downstairs. Do I have to have wires to both of them?
To use the UHF signals, yeah.
Your signals.
You can put a splitter in the middle of the run and run to the 2 places in your house.
So I bring one into the house, put a splitter, and get one downstairs and one upstairs.
And depending upon how long
Okay.
the run of wire, there may be amplification needed. It depends upon your location, depends upon the quality of your wire, depends upon to a certain extent, the type of antenna you have and
whether you're trying to look through trees.
Yeah.
Trees are detrimental to UHF signals. It's the water.
Tree in my front
It's the
yard.
water in the trees that does
Is that
it.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and conifer trees have needles.
And they do it year round.
Yes, so they don't go away, and they will affect the signal as well. So you only need to go high enough to be able to clearly see Laurel Mountain.
So you've got 33 channels that I want to see. I need an antenna for my house. Where am I going to go get one?
Well, many retailers have them.
Local retailers?
Yes, local retailers.
Several local retailers have them.
Somebody talked to Home Depot into having them again.
They did? And
Somebody told me
okay.
that Walmart has
I heard
them.
that Walmart had them,
But that's probably
Kmart probably
internet
does,
ordering
maybe.
and
Probably
delivered
so.
to the local store. Because
There's
I haven't
also-
seen any in the store.
If I were to go buy one, do I have to hire somebody to put it up for me, or is it going to be an instruction that says, nail this
They
to
come
the
with
thing?
instructions, but not everybody wants to deal with rooftops and stuff like that.
Okay.
Lois offers a service of installing an antenna, but you don't get to pick the antenna.
Oh, okay, so you just go say,
And they'll check to see if the antenna
Okay.
they're using will work at your house.
okay,
They're the only
it's time for us to go to a break.
Okay.
Again, I'm sorry about that, I got talking. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Santa's.
Okay, we're back with Lois and Gloria and Ed. And there's so much involved in this, folks, that we just barely got into antennas. I think they're telling me that almost every hardware store that you can get in touch with will have one. If not, you can probably get one online, and they could find a way to get it installed for you if you can't do it yourself. And now there's a whole lot of functions that these people take part in to get the word out to you, to know that you can get TV without having to go to cable. And explain a little bit about that too.
First of all, we have a website. The website is chock full of information. So I highly suggest, if you have the opportunity, go there for some basic answers to some questions you might have. We also try to attend every public function that we can in the area. We will be at the Family Fun Day and Community Dinner. That's coming up November 1, so come see us on Saturday.
Coming Saturday, and
We-
that's at
Just
right
Kerr-McGee.
away.
At the Kerr-McGee Center, we will have our booth stocked with the newest information. You will find at least 2 of us volunteers there all the time. There are no questions that you should be at all concerned are going to be too stupid to ask. We've heard them all,
That's
so
the
go
rule.
ahead and ask it.
That's the rule. There are
Yes,
no dumb questions.
there are no dumb questions.
cool.
Just ask. We've heard them before. We're happy to solve any questions you might have, point you in the right direction. Ed is in the final stages of our newsletter, and that's going to be available for you, as well as a bookmark that we will have. And let's just face it, we're there to accept your donations. We are just volunteers. There are costs that are involved in keeping TV Booster on the air. So if you'll support us, we can support you with programming. Ed, we're also going to be at Santa's, aren't we?
Yes, that'll be the first weekend in December, and that's at the fairgrounds.
Yep.
Okay.
Santa's
That
Art
sounds
Shop.
like fun.
Santa's Art Shop is always so well attended, and there's a great deal of strolling traffic. There's no real push to buy anything, so we love spending time with people at the time of Santa's Art Shop because it's a free and easy environment, and there are a lot of people who count on us being there because maybe they weren't ready to go to TV Booster last year, but economics, druthers, whatever, now is the
Now they
time.
need to see KZGN.
That's right. That's right.
right.
So maybe they need to talk to you a little bit more. And this says iwvtvbooster.org.
That's us.
That's them. Take a look at their webpage and they'll tell you a lot. Then you'll have some background to ask those questions that you want to ask.
Absolutely.
What are the things that you talk the most about with people when you're out there?
They always ask, I live on such and such and such a street. Can I still get TV Booster signal? And through the years of manning that booth and the fellows who have gone out and actually walked people's backyards and hiked up and peeked over their roof lines, we have a pretty good idea.
We're going to be doing another signal survey in the valley, but the last time we did it, we found there were only a couple of hopeless places for picking up our signal, and one of them is the Sutherland Estates that are deep south on Gateway Boulevard. Actually,
I've heard somebody that lives out there telling me that, and that we just haven't got fixed
Well,
yet.
see, they're down in a bowl, and the mountain ridge above them is pretty high up, and
The signal just
UHF
gets right
just
over
doesn't go around corners very efficiently.
Okay, see, I didn't know that either. Okay, well, that's good to know. So almost every place except maybe that one little block is
Even
Well, there are parts of that
available.
bowl where it's receivable, but, you know, it's trouble there.
So you guys go out periodically and do surveys? to see
We
if
like
it's-
to see what our transmitters are doing, and the College Heights used to be reputed to be a no-go zone, but there's no part of College Heights where you can't pick up our digital signals. We transmit more power now than we did, and the digital signals just penetrate a lot better.
There you go.
Well, that's good.
There you
And the
go.
more power you got, costs you more, so they would like a donation if you can at all. And if you can't, that's okay too. Get the word out, and then somebody will be able to. So
Edward.
we need more people using TV Booster.
Did we
because
talk
it's-
about radio?
Well, the TV Booster does carry some FM radio. Our specialties that are sort of unique are classical music and jazz. We finally returned to jazz
Yes.
a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And it, like our classical music, comes from Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
The classical Las Vegas station, which is KCNV, Classical Nevada.
96.7, and it's wonderful. It's
On the
wonderful.
radio.
On the radio.
Okay, so TV
96.7
Booster
on the radio.
That's the jazz portion.
That's
Our,
correct.
classical is on 107.1.
And do I need antenna for this too?
You can get it in your radio, your car, on your car radio. Clock radios work better than inside UHF antennas.
Oh, really?
But there could be some trickiness there. They don't have if a clock radio has little screw terminals in the back where you can attach an FM antenna, a bookshelf FM antenna works much better. The problem with indoor houses is the stucco wire
The chicken wire.
and the infrared reflective foil that's inside the newer built houses. You can always go to a window and try to get it through a window.
Stick a little wire out through the window?
Well, no. You just mount your bookshelf antenna, which, you know, looks like it's made out of twin lead, and you
Okay.
tape it to the window.
Those
and-
rabbit ears with
Called
the
a-
foil on.
Well,
a
it's an
dipole.
FM. It's an FM rabbit ear. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Okay,
dipole.
and those are available at hardware stores and places like that too, maybe.
And
Or you can build your own if you
Coat hanger?
find
No, right. I know back when we had rabbit ears, I had a coat hanger on mine because it needed just a little
little
bit
oomph.
more. And I
little
put
oomph.
something out there, but I didn't know until just now that you had radio. That's very exciing.
Oh, that's terrific.
It's really neat. So you can get jazz, classical, you can get
Well, we
all those
carry
TV
several
stations.
national public radio types. Some of them are real shooting NPR, and some of them are in the same ilk.
Okay. And then all those TV stations, KZGN included, are available.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of this time. Is there something that we really need to get out that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Tom and Lois and Fritz for giving us this opportunity. And we hope that as time goes by, you'll have us come back so we can give you more information as things change, as things improve. There's always channel changes. We will try to keep our website
yes.
as annotated as we can. And
Yes, we
come see us.
recommend frequent, you know, every couple weeks, rescans
Rescan.
to find channels that have moved or new ones that came up.
Excellent. And you guys keep us posted on your surveys, see if somebody
Okay.
can get in that couldn't get in before. And we will have you back in a while and see
Okay.
what's coming on.
Really good.
Go see them at the community dinner, and we will see you next week. Thank you for coming.